Hey, you guys, welcome back. This is from Mrs. to Ms. I'm Andrea, and we have a special guest with us today. I'm super excited. We have the wonderful, amazing Michelle. You guys remember her from a previous episode where she didn't hold anything back before, as you know. And, and I thought, who better than to have on as an amazing guest host with me today? So welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you. And, I kind of thought it would just be fun for us to talk a little bit about some of the stuff you talked about before, just your life going through with, getting married at a young age and what that's been like. But I want to kind of dig deeper and just go with me on that. See what we come up with. I don't want to interview you. I just want you to talk to me like my friend, my amazing friend that you are. Cool.
I'm here to just dish it.
Dish
Let's
it,
do
girl.
it.
So what has been going on since I last saw you? Any new
Oh
updates in your life?
God, I moved, but I moved internationally, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely not something I'd recommend.
Okay.
But I survived it.
Yes.
A lot's happening for me in my personal life, a lot's happening in my professional life because, of course, there's a strike going on with the WGA and SAG. So,
Yep.
I think it's been a strange time, but that's what tequila's for, right? And I definitely had a lot of it last
I think
night.
tequila covers a lot of things, to be honest. I think that's a good
Yeah.
resolve for a lot of things.
Yeah, I have to say though, because I've been living in LA for a couple years,
Right.
and I came to Vancouver, and I was out with some girlfriends last night.
Okay.
And speaking about men and dating and getting back into it, one of the girls at the table is just going through a horrible split. She's been with her husband for 15 years. She has a
Okay.
6 and a 9-year-old, and she
Oh,
was out with us.
okay.
And we, having a fun dinner. And
Mhm.
then next thing you know, we go out to a nightclub, and I'm watching her face shift as she sees men approaching her and her friends and how they're interacting. And I look over and I'm like, yeah, you forgot that you're about to be back in this
This is
dating
what it's
pool. And
like.
she's just like,
Yes.
oh my God, and
So
I
tell
know we're
me.
going to spin off and talk about all these different things, but even last night, just watching this poor girl that is got the biggest heart. When I say girl, she's almost 40,
Okay.
but just gone through this huge breakup,
Mhm.
hearts crushed, even though it
Mhm.
was mutual, still
Mhm.
painful.
Still painful.
And just watching her watch the behavior that happens with men and women.
So back me up for a second. What kind
Yeah.
of club are we talking here? So because I know
Oh, like club.
club, like people are
Full
like
on
getting in there,
dancing on the
dancing.
couches.
Okay,
Like I
okay,
have not been to a club in a while. And so
okay.
for me, and the girls coming out with the candles and the dancing when you're buying
Oh
champagne. And
yeah.
again, I look over at this beautiful girl and beautiful woman. Let's be correct here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it was just hard to see
Yeah.
it through her eyes. Because
Yeah.
even though I've now been divorced for forever, like
Hmm.
it's been 20 years. I've
Oh
had
wow.
long-term relationships, but
Yeah.
I've been divorced for 20 years.
Yes.
But I never got married again. Could have, but I didn't get married again.
So looking at her, you saw this kind of look in her eyes. Was it like, do you think there was a little bit of excitement though? Because I don't know.
She
Some
looked
might find
purely
it like,
terrified.
oh, okay. Some would come out excited, like they're just ready and they're like,
Yeah.
I want to get my game on. I am ready for
Yeah.
this. So, but then there's, yeah, those
Well,
that
my
are
other
kind of
girlfriend was
terrified.
definitely on that page. So
Okay.
I was watching her tear it up. She got a few numbers last night. And of course,
Now,
I'm trying to be this wing woman and be like, no, he's not good enough for you. And then for this other one who's almost in tears. And I'm like, it's okay. Don't
it's
worry. It's
okay.
okay. And the other
So,
one's on dancing on tables.
so you're checking standards when these guys roll up. You're already like giving the up and down, and you're like, no, not good enough for my
Yeah.
friend. That's a
Well,
good
and
wing
this is the
woman.
thing. And I think this is an important thing to bring up. I feel like we have been told that casual sex is okay. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not that it isn't. Look, I'm
Yeah,
not dissing casual sex if that's your jam.
yeah.
But I think if we dig in, women are not built for casual sex. We
Okay,
release oxytocin, we connect. That's a whole point. Like
absolutely.
we were built to connect. So I think watching the behavior last night and hey, I was dancing on a couch. I'm not going to say I was jumping up and down. I was reliving some fun
Yeah.
but I think a lot of, culture and now kind of the modern way is like, don't get attached. Well, guess what? Naturally, we
We
do.
do.
So, I was watching one of my girlfriends who definitely has more of that wild behavior and will sleep with lots of different guys. And then I saw the other woman who's just been so committed and so, a mother for so long.
Yes.
You think, because when I broke up with my husband, I was the opposite. I was one jumping up and down and taking
Yes.
pictures and wanting to live and, kind of really be free.
Yeah.
So I think, there's no wrong, but I think really understand that as a woman, like we talked in the last episode, like we are the ones that receive, if you know what I mean. I know last time I used the word penetrate.
Penetrate. You can use that
Penetration.
word again. We like the word penetration.
Yeah. But this
Casual
is the
sex.
thing, I've read a lot that energetically you take on that man's energy. If you
Yes.
think about it, especially if you
Okay.
have unsafe sex, don't have unsafe sex. I've had way too much unsafe sex, but
And
I've
live
just,
to tell about it.
yes, I'm still alive and disease free. I'm proud to say. But listen, I think there's so much to it. I so wish we could disconnect and just
Yes.
have a good roll in the hay and be like, that was
Yeah.
amazing and move on.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Andrea, how's your experience been on that? Because it's such a hard thing,
Oh
right?
my gosh, it's super hard. I feel like I've just been all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've gone through that whole phase where I'm like terrified. And then I go through the phase where I'm like, I'm just going at it. Like,
Yeah.
I just love a warm body,
My
and
God. Just
just
lie on me for a while.
I
Sex and the City lie.
know
I
it's so
just want
all
to
over the
the weight of a
place.
man to lie
Yes,
on me.
on me. And I do get connected. I did figure that out about myself. I can get connected pretty quick for somebody. Like then, after we have sex, then I'm like, that means we're like together, right? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of that feeling. Until lately I've been very much like, I just don't want anything to do with any of it right now. But that's kind of, I think we go through phases like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to touch back on something you talked about. This is probably going down a rabbit hole, but you talked about the unsafe sex thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So my girlfriend and I were talking about this the other day, and I'm like, how often when you have these casual hookups, casual sex,
Mhm.
do you say, hey, get a condom? You got a condom? I got a condom. Let me pull it
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Or are we at the age where we just kind of let it go? I don't even know if it's an age thing. Is it where we just kind of let it go?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, for me, I condoms and I don't get along. Like what I mean by that is not
And
because I
there's your
don't
answer, folks.
safe. Yeah. My body does not like the latex. I
Okay.
feel like I have a latex allergy. So for
Okay.
me, I think that's why I've pulled away from casual sex. Because yes, you are going to put one on if you're going to lie on me or me lie on you, straddle you, whatever you want to
Or
say. But that's the other thing. Like I don't have just missionary sex. So half the time the condom comes flying off
flying off
anyway. So,
anyways.
right. So look,
Yes.
again,
And do you
we
have
are
them like in your
not
drawer?
condoning unsafe sex. Please
Not at
be
all.
safe.
Please be
Please.
safe. I'm trying to clarify this for the audience to make sure they know what they need to do in this case, because we are not justifying unsafe sex for
No.
sure. So
But
I
I'm
know, I
surprised
mean, I
how
have
many
them in my drawer.
men, oh, same, but I'm
Yes.
surprised how many men don't just whip one on. I mean, I know so many men that have been trapped from a
Mhm.
one night stand getting pregnant. Men, put on the
Absolutely.
condoms.
But
Like,
don't you think they wait to see if you're going to like offer it first? I will tell
yep.
you that the majority of them do not go, oh, hey, guess what I got? They want you to ask. And if you don't, they're like,
Yeah, but there's also a big question that's not sexy. And I always say it, I'm like, hey, are you good? Are you
yeah,
healthy?
yes,
And of course, that's not romantic. Things can be
it's not
really hot, and you're
romantic.
like, you have to pull them away for a second, and be like, "Hey, are you good? Are you healthy?" And then they can
They
lie,
can
but
say
normally,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. What is it? The when
I
you
think
look
they
up to the
look down.
right,
I thought it was down to the left. I don't know.
it's up to the
They
right if you are trying to remember something.
remember.
Maybe
And I
down to the
think it's
left if you're a
down if you're
liar.
lying. I think that's right. I think it's something like that. But I also get the question where they go, they're asking, are you good? Meaning to me in the
Yeah.
sense of,
Yeah.
you've got birth control? Not even so much. Yes. So when they're saying, are you good? They're often thinking like, so that I can basically come in you, I don't think they're thinking, that so they can put on the condom. And I did have one guy that was kind of like, I don't know, the condom, I put it on and I'm like this. It just never,
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like, I don't want to
I
do
think it cuts the circulation off on some dudes, especially the big ones. Watch over those hammers, ladies. And then it's so funny because I think sometimes if you buy Magnum condoms or you have like an array of like, so let me see your size. I have the Magnum, I have the extra large, and I have the small.
I fan them out for you.
Yeah. Now whip it out and let's see if you are a grower or a shower. Which one are you? Are you none?
Would
are
that
you just
not...
a teeny tiny? What is happening? Oh my God, Andrea. Drawers are going to have to get bigger because I don't have enough space for multiple sizes. But yes, it's always hard
sorted by size, largest to smallest.
Yeah, no.
We do a sizing before we start.
No, my test was always like straddle him and make out with him and see if I could feel the bulge in the pants. But then half the time, sometimes it's folded and you're like, hey, that is massive. What is that coming at my face or my lady bits? I don't know.
We've talked about this a little bit. I remember you talking about the Ripper, which
tell
us what the Ripper is, just so we can remind our
I swear that guys, if you are built like this, wear a dog tag. Please give us a warning, a heads up of what to expect. It's like we call it the Ripper when it's really small at the top for like the first, I would say like centimeter, and then it widens really wide all the way to the base. And it's just poof, like, you think you're good, you're all lubed up. And ladies, please buy lube and lube for you and even little ones in your purse if you like to go out and have a good night. We are not meant to be ripped to shreds. You should feel ripped to shreds after sex. So anyways, you're all lubed up. You think you're going to win. And he starts going in and you're like, this is easy. And then wham, it hits you, rips you to shreds. Like, I'm sorry, but what is that?
Don't know.
I've only seen one in my life like that. And I've seen a lot of cock. So
okay. Are we going with a number? You're giving me a number?
God, no.
Don't
Ladies,
do that.
Don't
do that. Never tell a number.
No.
I can't remember if I've seen a Ripper or not. I'm sure.
A hot dog with a bun.
I have in my that would be like a sausage more than just a hot dog.
No.
God, I don't know.
Well, it's more circumcised or uncircumcised, right?
Oh,
a hot dog with a bun.
Oh my God, can we talk that for a minute? I don't know. Are we just going down that? This is the penis episode. What to know? Everything you need to know about a good penis.
Yeah.
Have you been with uncircumcised?
Yes. A big surprise. It just kind of comes out of this lovely coat. I don't know what you want to say. It's it's very different. Definitely feels like a lot more going on down there when you got a hot dog with a bun.
It sure does. Do you think that guys are kind of bothered by it if they are uncircumcised? Do you think it's an awkward thing for them, or are they just in a spot where they're like, it's fine. I don't care. If they don't like it, too bad.
I think it's about confidence, right? I think if a man is confident, I don't think it really, I haven't experienced the insecure men, uncircumcised, but what I do worry is uncircumcised men really have to keep it clean, and they do a lot more work. And let me tell you, sometimes they don't. And we know the men sometimes don't even change their underwear often. And sometimes they look like they're falling apart. What is up with that? Guys, please buy
grossing me out
underwear. Like, ugh. Like when you see it on the floor and it's kind of shredded a little and they're quite
with
successful.
Stain marks.
Like, I hope there's no skid marks or anything on there.
Skid marks. That's the word.
But no, I've never, I think even the guys that have been smaller have just identified it. Like, just so you know, I'm small, but I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a nice idea. But we all know if you don't feel full, you don't really feel much. So
you do that's so cute.
We're like, you know what? I'm getting really tired. It's time to go.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. I don't know. I have seen only a few uncircumcised in my day. Not a fan. I mean, I guess I would. I guess I'd be fine if it was like I had no other choice. That's all I had. And
he was a man of your dreams.
This man of my dreams. Everything else checked off on the checklist, but he's uncircumcised.
Yeah, I've dated short, I've dated overweight, I've dated poor, I've dated very wealthy, I've dated successful, I've dated unmotivated. I mean, to me, like, there's no, there's no really, I would say, pattern for
Yeah.
me. But
Yeah.
should we jump into first dates? I know we were laughing
Yeah. Let's
about
go
first
there.
dates and just the whole, again, we know most of the listeners are jumping back into dating or learning
Absolutely.
about dating or they're just curious. They want to dip their toe in. And I know we've talked
Hmm.
about apps and dates and oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many first dates I've had.
Oh my gosh. That you hope is your what do they say? Your first last date? Am I saying that right? Last first date, last first date. That you're
Last first
hoping
date.
it and it just I go into it literally like I'm praying before I please let them be attractive. Please let me be like attracted to them. Let them have chemistry. Please let them look like their pictures. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
saying all of these things as I go in. And I think in that first 5 minutes or less,
Oh yeah.
if there's something there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing though. I think when you're doing online dating,
Hmm.
my two pieces of advice are always have a phone call. If you can
Yes.
do it through the app, that's best because then you're not sharing your number. Try
Yep.
not to share your number so early. I think women share their number really early. Guys push for the number
Could
early.
be me.
And you actually have to I would say keep them on the app till the first date. Make sure you clear the first date before you
Okay.
give them your private number. So most of the apps
Oh,
these days allow you to make a phone call
yeah.
within the
Yeah.
number on the app. The other thing, I know this is going a little further, but have a FaceTime if you can with them or
Okay.
create an email that is only for dating. I know it sounds a little bit of work. And then
Wow.
create like an actual either Zoom or something you can do through that email so they can't find you. I know it sounds weird, but
Yes.
again, try to keep yourself a little more private. I think we
Okay.
get, hey, listen, I'm guilty of it. I give up
Yep.
my telephone number, I give up my email, and next
Yep.
thing you know, I have someone being like, by the way, I heard you did a podcast, and this is a while ago. I did a
Yeah.
podcast during COVID,
Uh-huh.
and oh, I heard this is what you like on dates, and he had totally stalked me on the internet, and I just went, I'm sorry, I can't see you. But what I was going to say
Yes.
is test the phone chemistry first.
Mm.
See if there's banter. See if it's comfortable. If there's this dead, silent blocks in the middle of the conversation, you're already done. You don't need to go on a first date.
Yes.
Even
And
if they're having a bad day, you can still laugh and move forward or
yep.
try to,
I have totally experienced that. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I personally think I give good phone. I'm pretty sure I do. I
sorry.
do.
I've never heard someone say that before. Okay. I'm really
I
glad you got
I
good phone.
I really think I do. I pretty much feel, and this is probably going to sound, I'm going to go with it. It's confident that once the phone call comes in, I know I'm good. Like I can usually seal it in for the day once the phone call comes because I feel like I have a decent voice. I can have a conversation. I can have personality on there. I don't usually have weird, silent, awkward moments unless they are totally off like that. And I just feel like, yeah, I give good phone. I
You give good
usually,
phone.
I
To all
usually
those
get
out
the
there,
date
do
right
you
after.
give good
Do you
phone?
give good phone? That's a
And then
thing.
for me, if the phone call goes well, I always try to do, like I said, a FaceTime or a Zoom
Hmm.
or whatever. Because again, like sit and have a glass of wine. If you're not drinking, have a glass of or a cup of coffee
Oh,
or
a
tea
FaceTime
or something.
date.
Just have a mini, like I'm talking 5-10 minutes. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about, and guys, sorry, girls, guys.
Yeah.
I would say guys, but it means girls and guys and everybody out there. I feel that make your first phone calls and
Hmm.
your first Zooms and even your first dates. Try not to make them long. It's better to
Okay.
make them have
More.
them wanting more. So if you're like, hey, let's have a quick FaceTime because you just want to see if you guys connect or there's a bit of heat there.
Hmm.
I have saved myself so many bad first dates. But listen, I only got smart about this in the last few years. I used to just
Okay.
go blind.
Yeah. Right. Right. Which is good because I've got a story to tell about that shortly. About because you learn as you go, right?
Yeah.
And we have learned so much more. I mean, you 20 years after, I'm 6 years after, but
Yeah.
I feel like night and day between when I first came out from divorce
Oh,
to now. And that's what I just kind of want to remind the audience is like,
yeah.
it's okay, you're going to learn as you go. And that's what's most important. As long as you're not repeating the same bad behavior over and over again, and you're kind of learning from everything, I think that's super important. And don't beat yourself up about it, you
Yeah,
know?
dip your toe in. It's okay dating doesn't feel right yet, or if you go on a couple of dates, you're a bit scared from that. You're like, I'm going to give myself a rest. This is supposed to be fun.
It
We're all like
is.
hopeless romantics at heart. So go have some fun. And if it isn't fun, take a break.
I like it. I like that idea. It's a really good idea.
Okay. Tell us your story. Come on. I need to hear this
You
story.
need to hear this story. Okay.
Mhm.
So this story is definitely a dating faux pas. It was somewhat when I first came out from being divorced. It wasn't right away. I had started dating a lot. I met this guy online, and I feel like throughout the date, I just did thing after thing after thing that my mother would beat me over the head for doing. She would never forgive me for
Sorry,
doing a lot of
Mom.
this. I know she doesn't listen to my episodes anymore. She can't handle it. But just for me to tell other women just of things to be careful for going out there. So this is my story called Jack in the Box. So basically, this guy I met online, hottie, hottie, hottie. Okay, so he was like 6'4", very attractive. I'm going to call him Brad. We're going to say his name's Brad. Oh no, you must know
Perfect
Brad.
No, it's just a perfect
Brads
name.
are hot. I think Brads are always
They're always hot, but they're always douchey.
They see douchey, hot.
They tend to be
It's all the
firefighters.
same. Oh, this guy.
Every Brad I know is either a firefighter or a lifeguard or a paramedic. Like,
well, this
not
one's
too bright.
not quite a
Brads.
firefighter. So this one, so we started talking on the phone. This is quite a few years ago now, so I don't totally remember the timeline of how long we were talking before we actually set up the date, but he lived downtown. So this is back when I was in Texas, and he asked me to come meet him for the date. So he sends me a location to come to. It is a good close to 40 minutes for me to drive there. It is right by where he said where he lives. So it's kind of, I'm like, so I'm driving all the way to you. I know. You're
You already made a mistake, girls.
Mistake number one.
You make them come to
To
you closer to your neighborhood. And if not, they send you an Uber to come and collect you. And you always meet in a public space. Never go to their places for a first date, ever.
Oh, see, there you go. Lesson learned
Tell
already.
me. Yeah. Tell me more. Come on.
Okay, so here we go. She's going to tear this one apart.
Yes, I am.
So
I'll be the ripper.
That's
all of it. A verbal ripper.
Go be the ripper. That's a bad image. So I went to my girlfriend. I'm like, do I go? He's like 40 minutes away, whatever. She's like, I don't love it. Kind of like what you said, but she's like, what are your thoughts on him? I kind of told her. She's like, you know what, this time go, but next time if you guys hit it off, he's coming to you. Like, no more of that. I'm like, all right. So we plan the date. So as I'm driving there, he texts me and says, can I get you something to drink? Because I said I was close. I know. You know where this is going.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah. I'm like, yes, please. Vodka soda. I'm thinking, perfect. We're going to have drinks. This is going to be great. So in hindsight, ladies, do not do that. You do not know what they are going to put in your drink, what they're going to do to your drink. You don't know any of that. So letting someone get your drink ahead of time, big dating faux pas for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
for
number
sure.
2.
Yep. I'm only like 10 minutes in on this story, if that. So I get there. Okay. So it's a little hole in the wall bar. I have no problem with that. I don't mind like a little cute hole in the wall bar. I wouldn't say this place was cute. It was kind of like a darker, little dingier, but I was going with the flow. Okay. So first impressions of this guy, because I'm expecting hottie, right? And he walks up to me to give me the hug, and I'm a little taken aback. I mean, he's still cute, very, very cute, but his hair was like real messy, very disheveled looking. I'm not like for that. It was not a good messy, like some
like
can
a
get that
bedhead nap,
yep.
like
yeah,
baby
not
bedhead.
the back, just kind of going in all different places in the front, and just
maybe it's
like
a convertible.
Yeah. Well, wait for it. You'll know he does not.
No. He was on his bike, his pedal bike.
Yeah. So it's this crazy little hairdo, right? But I'm like, okay, cute face, kind of an older t-shirt. No, I'm not a fan of like one of like a screen print t-shirt kind of thing. Not cool for a first date. A little bit baggier jean. I'm really like analyzing.
You're really going into detail.
I am.
What was his shoes and socks like?
Oh, shoes. So he had on
What
some,
size was his shoe?
oh, I did not like, I should have just known from his 6'4" what I was going to be getting myself into. His shoes were like these New Balance running shoes,
Oh God, no,
but
run.
old school.
Run, don't walk, ladies.
I should have grabbed those New Balance and run.
Yep.
They were not, I mean, I don't have a problem with New Balance, I guess. But they were kind of not cool ones.
Jogging.
Yes, not a first date. I mean, it was just such a bad look for a first date and very disappointing because I'm like, make an effort. And there was zero effort made already. So already we're like, I'm driving to you. You're like, you barely got out of bed to make this work for me today. So it was just a very disappointing, but I'm going with
He
it.
made that much effort to go on a first date. I wonder how much effort he's going to make and have given bed, right?
Absolutely. Great question.
Probably zero.
Probably zero with his little New Balance on.
New Balance still on, Jackrabbit sex.
I should change it from Jack in the Box to Jack Rabbit. So anyways, so the date proceeds. We're kind of chatting. It's pretty loud in there. We're having some good conversation though, but we got to sit a little bit close because it is really loud and they're a little bit closer than I would have liked on the first date, but it was fine. I'm asking questions. I'm just trying to get the rundown. He does not have a drink in front of him. He has just a Red Bull. I have my vodka soda. So I ask him, which I did not even drink the vodka soda because I remembered after what mom taught me never to order my drink ahead of time. So I'm like, okay, so I ask him, oh, you don't drink, which is fine. Just wondering, curious. Oh no, he doesn't drink because he used to be addicted to OxyContin and was in rehab for a while. He had a really bad back and he started taking OxyContin for his back and he got addicted to it and it got really, really bad. So he doesn't do any drinks at all, drugs, nothing like that.
Yeah,
okay. So that, yeah,
to get
but that's
addicted to Oxy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was sad, but I was like, oh, okay. That's a lot. It's a little heavy for right now. Sorry, I asked. So then I went on to ask him what he does for a living. He's like, oh my God, I'm a roofer and not like a roofie roofer.
No, I understand.
Like a roofie roofer.
He does roofs for a living.
He does roofs for a living. And I said, amazing. Okay, you're a roofer. And he said, yes. And I'm going to take over the world. And I'm like,
one roof at a time.
I said exactly that. I'm like, wow, okay, so you're going to take over the world. So he went in to tell me his whole story about how he got hooked up on OxyContin, was doing all these drugs, actually lost his home. He was pretty much homeless for a while till he got this amazing job as a roofer. And now that is what he does. And he's going to take over the world. This already was like way too much for me. Like, I'm like, oh my God. I've got the guy who doesn't know how to dress, who's like been addicted to this. He's like, didn't have a home and he's going to take over the world. I mean, soulmate, maybe. I don't know.
I think Andrea didn't ask any pre-date questions that mattered.
So we,
how tall are you? How hot are you? Okay. I'm done. Let's go.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And that is exactly kind of what I was saying about starting out. You just kind of look for those things at the top of your boxes, your checklist, and you're like, good, I'm on it. So we start, we're talking and everything. He says he has to go to the bathroom. He stands up and immediately from the front, I notice he has a bit of a stomach. I didn't see it right when I first looked in. I was too busy giving the old up and down, but I do now see he has a bit of a stomach, which is kind of odd for me for like him being so tall and kind of lean. I was really surprised that the stomach was there, but then he left to go to the bathroom and he was very cute from behind. So I was like, we're back in. All right. I like it. So he goes to the bathroom and I start talking to myself at this point, like, okay, Andrea, what's your next move? Like, you got to be prepared because I feel like we've done everything we're going to do here. He's probably going to say, we're in the vicinity of his house. Do you want to go back to my place? Maybe watch a movie or something like that. What are you going to say, Andrea? You're
Absolutely not.
Thank you. You're going to say, no, no, no. He comes out. He's immediately comes over to me. He's like, hey, why don't we wrap things up here? I live real close. Why don't we go to my place and watch a movie? I don't know how I saw that coming.
Wow, a whole Red Bull purchase.
Nothing to eat. There was
no
nothing,
dinner.
No food, no nothing to his place. And Andrea's like, okay. Now I know this. I'm telling you, this is things though that you don't think about at the time. And I think you're just like the yes man, maybe even afraid to say no at that point. And I'm like, Okay, let's go. So we walk out of there. And as we walk into the parking lot, I'm like, okay, cool. Should I meet you there? Do you want to send me the address? He says, oh, shoot, I don't have a car. I was going to ride with you.
So how did
So
he get to the date? On the bus?
he walked. He
Oh,
lives pretty darn close and he walked.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So again, I'm like, okay. So he gets in my car. So we are just one thing after the other of things that I should not have been doing here.
No.
No, we go to his place. It's very cute. It's kind of like a little Melrose, court, like what do
Melrose
they call
Place.
it? Yeah, courtyard. Real cute, real cute. We go inside, very bachelor like, a couple leather chairs.
Couch. So was black, ladies. So was
Always
black.
black leather.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
he's
gross.
got a couple
Okay.
things. We sit down to watch a movie, and 15 minutes later, he's like, "Why don't we go upstairs to my room and just lay on the bed and watch it there? I'll be much more comfortable." Michelle,
was it just the tip next? Like, what was happening? Come on, girl.
I went upstairs. I'm like, let's.
No.
And yes, and I know, and I'm embarrassed to tell this story, but I have learned so much from this. And I'm trying to share this information so nobody else does this. So we go upstairs. Oh, it gets better. We go upstairs to watch the movie. We lay down on his bed. There's nothing going on yet. I don't even think we'd kissed or anything at that point. It was very platonic. So I was kind of, probably that's what I was going with, feeling like it's okay. We haven't really done anything. He goes into the closet and he changes out his outfit. He comes out with some basketball shorts on, no shirt. I'm getting a full look on at this little belly. This guy is pregnant. He's got a little belly on him. And I'm thinking, where did that come from? How did I not see that? And it was just not very attractive. But he's like, do you want to take your shoes off and stuff? So I bend over to take off my shoes. And he goes, damn, girl, you look good. And I'm just like, wow.
I'm mortified. My face is, I am fucking mortified right now. I can't believe this is happening. No.
And I was probably still at that point, like he's still really cute though. I mean, where could this go? So
nowhere.
He asked me if I want to change into anything more comfortable. I'm like, nope.
Well, you don't have any spare clothes with you,
there?
Although you might have had some in your car because you drove 40 minutes. Maybe you did bring something.
But I didn't bring anything. No, I was not planning to like spend a night or anything. And so I was pretty much like, these chastity jeans are not coming off. These are good. So we're sitting there watching the movie. He gets up and goes into the bathroom. 15 minutes later, he comes out. This is getting kind of late now. And he goes, oh, hey, I just ordered some Jack in the Box. Oh, shoot, you didn't want anything, did you? And I'm like, no, I just still in
love. I'm assuming.
And I'm still in love. And I'm like, and I just don't eat, apparently. Because I'm thinking, you didn't order any food at the bar. We didn't have anything to eat there. We come here. Now you just ordered Jack in the Box to be delivered, of course, because he doesn't have a car. And you didn't even think to ask me if I wanted anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's lovely. So what have you learned here?
So far, let's see what I learned.
Let's sum it up. You don't drive far for a first date. They come to your area unless you don't want them to get to know you. I'm not saying your home or your neighborhood. I just mean like within 5 miles, something is close, a restaurant, or a cozy coffee shop, By the way, I always think coffee dates suck and no romance.
I agree.
Shop, but at the same time, if you haven't done like the early FaceTime or Zoom and no phone call and you want to make it short, just say you'll meet them for a drink. You don't have to drink anything. You can have a pop if you want. But
that was so
I feel
Canadian,
it's a bit
by the way.
more evening pop.
Have a pop. Which I'm Canadian too, so I got you.
Yeah, and then you don't have them pre-order a drink for you.
Nope, you sure don't.
For a while.
You sure don't.
Because that's crazy.
Right? You don't go back to their place with them immediately without even knowing who you're getting in a car with. You don't let him
into your car. Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
Oh, you name it. I did it.
Wow.
All just to get the Jack in the Box, which I never even got. He never even ordered it. And let me tell you,
that was the final hit. Someone above was like, I'm going to keep giving you doozies till you get out.
And I was like, oh, getting hit with these over and over again. And I'm doing the, give me more.
Andrea, you're just such a good soul. And I think you want to see the best in people, but ladies, please stop seeing the best in people. Men tell you exactly who they are right off the bat. I remember having a first date and going in and putting up with a dinner. And remember, I always used to write in a diary, and I got home that night and I was like, wow, he's very cool. He's very interesting. He's very smart, but he's very dark. He
Okay.
definitely has something underneath there that is a little spooky that I'm not sure about. What did I do? I moved to Spain with him. I dated him for 3 years, and then I
See?
left, and he ended up bringing another woman to live with him a week later.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I'm just saying, men show you exactly who they are.
We
It's up
are.
to us to actually see it,
Yes.
acknowledge it,
Yes.
and call it a deal breaker and be like, no.
Yes.
So I'm very
Well,
particular now. I am very much like, you either send me a car if I don't have a car, but if you don't want to give them your address, you can give like a couple doors down, or like I said, a
mhm,
close, whatever, something that's close to you,
mhm,
a landmark. Or if you do need to drive, then you shouldn't be drinking anyways. So let's make sure he's not buying you a ton of alcohol on
right.
your date. But
And then,
there's so many things here. One date I went to, I was just like you. I was excited. Look, I'm a hopeless romantic. I always want to be in love.
yes.
And I remember turning up to this restaurant and I'm thinking there's gonna be a reservation. It's dinner, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I pull up right on time, 7 o'clock, walk in. I say, oh, there should be a reservation, blah, blah, blah. Nope, no reservation. Well, it was packed. It was loud. I go and find a seat at the bar
Mhm,
in the restaurant. And there's this really beautiful man sitting next to me. And I'm like, oh my
mhm.
God, oh my God. Anyways, this is that date where the guy walked in 20 minutes late,
Uh-huh.
sat down, insulted the jeans I was wearing,
Oh
and
no.
then he's like, oh, oh God, I hate this fucking line. Oh, because my jeans were ripped. Oh, did you
Okay.
pay part price for that or half
Oh.
price because they're not all there? I'm like, are you 80? I don't want to insult 80-year-olds. Are you
No,
95?
yeah.
And
Go
he was
older.
probably 40. And just, I'm almost 50. So he
Okay.
was younger.
He was younger.
So we order drinks and I'm painfully trying to get through the conversation. Already, I'm like, you know what? You arrived late. So that means
Mhm,
I was left alone. You
mhm.
had no reservation. Then you insulted what I was wearing.
Yep.
The drinks came and I just looked at him. I said, I'm going to pay for this round because I've decided I'm going to go. That was one of those dates where I'm like, peace
I'm
out.
out.
You
And
got to,
so
you
you
can't be
literally said
serious.
this to him. Okay.
Mhm. And you can't
Mhm.
be serious. You're leaving. I'm like, absolutely. I just don't feel good about what's happened here. And this is not a romantic connection that I'm feeling.
Right.
And then he goes, no, I'll take the drinks. Anyways, unfortunately, I kept bumping into him at this neighborhood restaurant like 4 or 5 times. And every time he was on a new date and I could see
Really?
the woman. And it was almost like he used me as a conversation piece for his
Okay.
current date, because I could always tell they were kind of quiet and then they'd look and she'd smile and laugh. And so, you know what? I'd be like, hi, yeah, if you want the truth, come talk to
To
me. And
me?
they just go ghost white. And I did it every time. I'm like, yeah, come on, I'll give you the truth.
Yeah.
And men will show you who they are. Pay attention.
Absolutely. I
They should have
yeah.
manners.
They should have absolute manners.
Yeah.
Well, just to finish out this story, this
Oh,
guy. No, you're good. You're good. Just
oh,
to
I
finish
thought
it
you
out.
ran out screaming after there was no Jack in the Box.
No,
Oh, of
girl.
course
I was
not. Oh my
like,
God.
please, may I have another?
Oh my God.
He literally, at this point, I am there. It's like 1 a.m. And, I drove like 45 minutes. He's like, you can just stay here if you want. I absolutely stayed on top of the sheets. I was with my clothes on. I know. You should all see the look he's
Again,
giving me right now.
a look of shock on
I
my face.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I should never have stayed, but I had a couple drinks. And so I was like, whatever. So I laid there next to him, on the bed. He proceeded to pull a little snoring strip out, put on his snoring strip, then put on his eye mask, turned out the lights, and then ate the Jack in the Box. And I'm not even joking. He's eating the fries, the chicken fingers, slurping the large Dr. Pepper. He also had a chocolate cake. I didn't even know Jack
Oh,
in
I
the
know
Box
where the
had
belly's
chocolate
coming
cake.
from.
Thank you.
Late
So
night
the
eating.
same thing. And he's crinkling this thing open and he's eating it in the dark. I wish I had just pulled out my phone and just videoed this. I mean, it was ridiculous. Anyways, I end up like falling asleep. The next morning, I hear him rustling around in the bathroom and he comes out and again goes, oh, hey, I just ordered McDonald's. Oh, shoot, you didn't want anything, did you? I'm like thinking,
Okay, so let's talk about your type of men, Andrea. No,
I like the ones
God.
where that they just let me whittle away to nothing. That's how I lose weight, by going on these dates when they don't offer to get me anything to eat at all. Even if I had to pay for it, I don't care.
Oh my
Get me
gosh.
some food. Yes.
I get it. When I was fresh out of my divorce, I think it was my second relationship
Mm-hmm.
after I'd split, and I'd met this guy and he was quite successful and charming and interesting. And I remember changing who I was for him. I remember changing my clothing. All of
Okay.
a sudden, because he dressed very posh, very nice, all of a sudden I was buying new clothes, which I really couldn't afford.
Right.
And I was racking my credit card trying to match him because I always do the runaway bride thing. It's like I match the
Mm,
guy. If they like certain kind of eggs, I like a certain kind of eggs. If they like to
really?
dress dressier, I dress dressier. If they dress casual, I go more casual for a bit. Oh, I would completely morph into their dream woman.
That's
Um,
very intriguing to me. I want to do a
oh,
topic on that another time.
God,
That's very
yes,
intriguing.
for sure. So one time we went out to a restaurant and I don't know why. Well, we were in Calgary, Alberta. So the thing
Okay.
is, we eat caribou, like bison. It's not like sirloin steak on the menu. I should have
Mhm.
run when I saw that. Anyways, I obviously had some kind of strange food poisoning or something. I vomited for 2 days straight. Do you know what he said to me after the
What?
2 days?
What?
Wow, you look incredible. You look so much better losing some weight. That was one of the
Shut
things he did. And I
up.
remember thinking,
What?
did he really just say that?
Say that?
Like vomiting for two
2
days. Like,
days.
and he wouldn't bring me electrolytes. Not like he would come in and be like, here's some, whatever Pedialyte, or I normally do like emergency packs,
Yeah.
but no help. And then I'm going to tell you another nightmare. This same guy, because I didn't leave him, because why, that shouldn't
Why
be a
would
red
we?
flag. Because it was too new. Like that's what I wanted to get into. I think when we're fresh out of divorce, we so
Mhm.
want to be loved that
Mhm.
we overlook these huge red flags. So, ladies, I want to remind you when you're
Mhm.
fresh out of that relationship, whatever you've learned, do some reading, talk to some girlfriends that have been out in the single scene for a while, really hear their stories, because I think you should gain some information that way.
Yeah.
But we went away to Mexico and again got food poisoning, but both of us did. And
Random.
he kept saying like how amazing I looked because I was down like a size 4. I'd lost like a whole size. And then, but even worse, I will never forget one morning he brought me my razor to my bedside. Like he had left the bed in the morning, gone and showered, and brought my razor to me and said, you better get up and shave. You have stubble. I would shave every day. I shave
My
every day.
God,
And
Michelle.
I remember thinking, this is this is not okay. And unfortunately,
Yes.
we don't realize that this is actually narcissistic behavior.
Yes. And a
And
form of abuse in some
it's
ways.
definitely a form of
Mhm.
abuse, control. And then you start
Mhm.
second guessing, what you're dressing like, and if your weight
Mhm.
is okay by them. And, are your legs smooth enough to keep them happy? These are things that should never come into your mind. So I know it's not first date. I'm
Wow.
giving you more like problematic things. But like I said, again, my big note is men show you who they are right off the top. Definitely take
Absolutely.
that note. And as Andrea didn't, you get the fuck out. You
That's
run.
right. That's
You
right.
run. You either leave the date, you walk away. It's just hard. Look, I
But
know
that's
we
what
all want love.
I really want to employ that is it is okay to walk
Yeah.
away. And that is,
Yeah.
one of the things that I did struggle with. Like I was kind of joking about being a yes man, but I think that is exactly what it was. It's just like you want them to like you and you're feeling so insecure after coming out of a divorce. You're feeling,
Yeah.
just not happy with yourself. You're not loving yourself and you're looking for someone to replace that and fill that void. And so I think by doing exactly what you said, morphing to wear what they want to, what they're wearing,
Hmm.
saying yes to everything to please them instead of saying what you need and setting the bar of what you want for your future as well.
Yeah.
You're just kind of falling into it and doing everything they say. And I read once that they said about like red flags, that even the smallest red flag in the beginning, over the trajectory of years, that same red flag, which maybe you kind of brush off in the beginning,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
doesn't go away. It becomes
No.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then it's like so much bigger in years to come. And now you're so much further in. So it is a
Yep.
lot about kind of seeing it, right off the bat and avoiding these first date faux pas if you
Yep.
can
Yep.
by researching, listening to podcasts like where we're talking about the stories and kind of paving the way, I think a little
Right.
bit
And,
for women.
I think one of the other big red flags is this is why, again, always meet out in public. See how they
Yes.
interact with people. How do they talk to the server, the hostess? Are they being grateful? Are they being thankful? Or are they waving their arms, trying to get the check? Are they trying to get their attention in a rude way? Are they speaking down to them? Oh my gosh. The moment this happens, I always look across and say, you know what? Thank you. But
Yep.
this isn't going to work. Again, that's my new thing. That's only been in the last maybe 2.5, 3 years. I did
Yeah.
have a boyfriend that really allowed me to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pre-COVID and we were together 3 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember he always made me feel so special and so loved. And ever since then, that changed how I saw dating. It changed how I gave myself so much more respect and I
Mm-hmm.
expected to be treated with respect. And just like you said, we want to be seen. Normally, when
Yes.
a divorce ends, it's because we weren't nurtured in some way or seen or appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So we do look for anyone to give us appreciation or care, but please watch out for the narcissists. They
Ugh.
target women that are coming out of divorce and relationships because we are hurting. We
Mm-hmm.
are going through trauma and drama, and
Yes.
they can prey on it. So if you ever meet someone who is love bombing you, look up that term if you've never heard of it, love bombing.
Mm-hmm.
It's they make you feel so loved, so special, so fast, but they do come in fast and furious. They'll
Yep.
want to see you all the time. They'll want to talk to you all the time. And then you'll start to notice these small bits of control coming in. So I know we're kind of jumping away from first dates, but I think as these podcasts do, you kind of start going on a tangent and then you go another direction. And I
Yeah.
think that's the better way to be instead of like, we have to stick to the topic. So believe me,
Yes.
first
Whatever
dates,
comes to
we
mind.
can always talk about this again. But I really, please, because I've been targeted before by
Yes.
narcissists because I do have a good heart. I
Yeah.
do love big. I do believe in the good of people.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because of that, I've been victimized a few times.
Me too.
So, and it shows on the first date.
I
Believe me.
know, if we just opened our eyes and just really thought about what's going on right in front of our face instead of just
Yeah.
going with it, you know?
Or even how they start to text you in the beginning. Like, really
Yes.
watch how they interact with you. If you're on an app and they're already
Hmm.
being like, so what are you wearing? Are you taking care of
Oh,
yourself tonight? Like, what are
I
you
hate
doing? Or
that.
yeah, or just even how are they behaving? Are they texting in a obsessive manner? Are they
Hmm.
texting gently? Are they barely texting at all?
Hmm.
Can you tell that they're loving on you one night because you're the new match and then you
Hmm.
don't hear from them and then they return back? That means another match and another match has lit their fire
Hmm.
temporarily and now they're coming back to you. Are you filling a void for them? Or
Yep.
are they truly looking for a connection? So there's just so much. I mean, my God, dating, love, relationships. My
We could
God,
go
we
in
could
so many
spend
different directions here.
10,000
So
hours
many.
and not cover it.
Absolutely. Well, I think that was a great start to talking about the first date faux pas. I think we can definitely touch base on that at a later time as well. I'm sure
Yeah.
between the two of us, we have quite a few, quite
So
a
many
few good
nightmare
stories
stories.
to tell. And
No
so,
Jack
yeah,
in the Box for me, though.
no Jack in the
No,
Box, no
no,
roofer taking over the world. No, it's
no.
all good. Yeah. I did give up on that one. He did ask to see me again, and I did bail out real quick there. So that was good. I said, no, my life is not conducive to yours. I'm out. So I was real
Only
kind of
took about
mad.
8 red flags, but
Yeah,
you got there. That's the
absolutely.
important part. You
And
got there.
thankfully, I live to tell this story, and that, I can give it for other people to hear, and just, be buyer beware, I guess, would be the name of that one.
And this is another thing people don't talk about. Women have been raised, depending how old you are, because
Hmm.
it still hasn't changed much. Women have been raised to be subservient to men.
Hmm.
It's supposed to be about them. And it sounds crazy. I know we're getting more independent. And yes, we are power people now and we have these amazing careers. But my girlfriend always makes this joke like, why is sex over when the man comes? And she
Mm.
said that one night. And I went, oh my God,
Oh, why?
why isn't it when we get what we need? Why?
Right.
Hold on. So, whoops, just hit my mic. I've got so excited here. But yeah, like, why isn't it about, why is that the rule? Who started
Yes.
that?
I don't know.
Why
But
is it always about them?
a good gentleman shouldn't make it that way, right? Like they, because I've been with gentlemen that are like, I want to please you first before I please myself, or before you please me. So I think
But
that's a great
that's a
sign.
giver, and
It's
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
We call those the givers. There's the givers and the takers, and the ones that just jackrabbit you and then they're done. Sorry.
I
It's
love
pound,
Jackrabbit
pound, pound,
names.
pound, pound. It's like they obviously only watch porn and have not learned about a female anatomy. But
They had that on Sex in the City.
yes.
When Carrie Bradshaw had that,
Pound, pound,
and
pound, pound, pound.
yeah, and then her back was out for
I
a
know.
week.
I've woken up
That's
with
a
a kink
rough
in my
one.
neck.
From your head hitting the headboard over and over and over again.
I don't know,
That's
ladies, don't let
awesome.
that happen. Get
Don't
them
let
to
it
move.
happen, or
No,
hop on
why do we do
top.
that? But this is
Hop
like,
on top.
right. But we do. We will.
We'll take it.
And what is up with our legs right behind our ears, which is very uncomfortable sometimes, depending on the time of the month. And it's like, we're a little more sensitive. It's like, put your legs down. Doesn't feel good? Move.
And I'm
It's
just
not
not
about that.
that flexible, damn it.
Oh, I'm crazy flexible. That's another topic. No.
She's got all twisted up around like a pretzel.
Oh,
I
God.
love it. I love it. Well, I'm going to stop there, and we are going to catch up again at another time when we're going to have Michelle back as my guest co-host, because I love it. I love having you here with me and chatting about all things dating, sex, rippers, penis, everything. I love it. Love it.
At first dates and Jack in the Box.
And first dates and Jack in the Box. So thank you guys for joining us so much. Really appreciate it. And you can find me on It's From Mrs. to Ms. on Instagram. You can email me at info@FromMrs2Ms.net. Please follow on any streaming platform, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks for joining. Talk soon. Bye.